Seconds, we'll find out. Okay, Mia's gonna go off for a moment. They're fighting each other, let them be. Hit him once.
Kill.
Nice.
Going up right. Let me know when you're doing stuff like that. I'm going to get involved. Oh, look at this. Bam! Get it! Yeah! Oh my! God damn! Second. Hey guys, Wheel Talk is back. We are talking about this Joe Rogan thing because everybody on Twitter thinks that their opinion's more important than everybody else's. But I mean, I think mine is too. So you know, what else is new? Anyways, let's come in and let's talk about this. We got Blind Ryan joining us, which is going to be a regular addition for Wheel Talk. We're pretty much going to run this whenever Well, whenever there's something we want to talk about, and we're both available, and then we're going to post it on YouTube. So hopefully, this will generate some interesting conversation here.
Hopefully we'll get a buzz.
A buzz?
Yes. Hopefully we will attract a buzz.
Oh, okay. I was
Is
like,
my audio on?
yes, your audio
Okay.
is on.
All right. So, do you have the article in question? Do you have the quote in question that you would like to debunk?
Well, okay. First off, I think the way that we should look at this, guys, is I'm going to go to a different picture here, and we're actually going to do.
I'm very glad I have the. I'm very glad I have the window up.
Okay, we are going to actually unpack this for a second. There's a part of the video though. Let's see. Jackson, what are you doing? Okay, he's just a dog licking his nuts. That he doesn't have. Anyway,
He'll figure it out eventually.
yeah, one of these days. Joe Rogan, video games. It's probably how I can find it. Okay,
How's
so
it going, Valerius?
yeah, no, he's just chilling over there. All right, let's see here. Let's see if we can watch this video and see what, because there's a part of it that I actually showed. Okay.
And video games are a real problem. They're a real problem. You know why? Because they're fucking fun.
Addictive.
And you don't. Yeah. Well, I have a real problem with them. And you do them, and they're real exciting, but you don't get anywhere.
Right.
It's like you could do like
Dude,
martial
I can't
arts.
hear
Right?
the audio.
You could learn jujitsu.
Wait, you
You
can't?
get obsessed by jujitsu,
No.
and then 3
Like I
years
said, just
later,
send me the article in question, and I'll look over it real quick.
Okay, it isn't actually an article.
going
It's
to go and their
the
parents.
video of what he said. So let me see
Actually,
if I.
let me see if I can find it because I know it's come up on Kotaku in action. Let's see. Polygon and humans.
Well, we need to make sure we're playing at the right. If we're going to the right article, so let's make sure we're both on the same. Like, what side?
Here it is. Joe Craven Dextero. Joe Rogan says grinding games is a waste of time for most people.
Can you actually
you
link that, and then we'll do a classic
It's
1,
in
2,
the
3
chat.
countdown, and then we'll click on it like experts.
Oh no, it's just an article. Here, I'll read it. I'll read it, okay? Joe Rogan, the immensely popular comedian and podcast host, described video games as a waste of time for most people during his episode with author, fitness guru, and businessman Joe DeSanto. There are a few podcasts in the world as listened to his Joe Rogan Experience. Video games are a real problem, Rogan said. They're a real problem. You know why? Because they're fucking fun. You do them and they're real exciting, but you don't get anywhere. Rogan contrasted video games with jiu-jitsu and stated that someone who put significant effort into running a martial arts school would likely be experiencing success after 3 years of grinding. So, is that about what he's saying, or did they take that out of context?
Okay, well, see, this is the part. Okay, I need to find this other part. I'm trying to see if I can actually find. Okay, what I need to look at is I need to look at.
And
See if I can look at a video transcript of this, so that way.
Why not just do closed captioning?
Okay.
Or are you trying to find it? Because there's a little CC button right there. There you go.
Okay. Will you be able to follow this?
I've got the window up. I'll be able to see it.
it's a different kind of mental
Assuming
strength.
it fucking shows up.
And there's mental strength in terms of like your ability to sit
There it
down
is.
and be disciplined and study and do
Mental
homework
strength in terms of,
assignments
like, your ability to
and
sit down
complete
and be
projects
disciplined and
and
study
do complex problems and problem solving. There's mental strength in that too. But there's also the strength of the mind telling the body who the fucking boss is. Like, no.
I love that sentence.
That's what it is.
Right.
You're like, no, bitch. Your body's like, we got to stop. Fuck you.
We're doing
Fuck
this.
you. You almost like you have to have two people in your brain.
Right.
You have to have this general and you have to have a soldier.
Right.
And the general's like, listen, motherfucker, we know what we're doing here. We're going to get this
felt like
done.
that.
This is what we're doing today.
The
You got a
mind and the
list
body.
of shit on that
I mean,
paper. It's got to
this is
get
not
done. It's
revolutionary
98
stuff.
degrees outside, and you're going to do it out here in the sun.
No,
you got
this is
plenty
not
of
the
water.
part.
Let's
This
go.
is the wrong part.
Yeah, I agree.
That-
Of
I agree
course.
with. I agree
So
with
it's
that
gonna be
part.
around
Here,
right?
pause it real
They
quick.
figure out
I
how
don't
to
know.
do it.
I don't know
They
if they
live
can
in-
hear
I'm
it.
gonna
Let's see. There's a share button. Send him that link. Okay.
future. This
So-
way, you're doing something.
Look, basically, what other people are extrapolating is that Joe Rogan hates video games.
Like the
And it
path,
sounds to me
a
like
career
what he is
path.
saying
But
is
I think that
moderation in all things. Games are fun. Okay, we've all established that games are fun. That's literally why they exist, to give us that serotonin dopamine drip. Cool. But just like other things that are fun, like food, like fucking pottery, fucking gardening, reading a book, any of that shit,
Yeah.
if you do it to the exclusion of your obligations as a human being, as a partner, as anything else, that's bad. I don't think Rogan is saying that video games in and of themselves are bad, much like I doubt he'd say that drugs in and of themselves are bad. Mr. Hey, have you tried DMT? Fucking idiot. What he's saying is if you do anything too much, and the example he uses is video games, you're going to have a bad time. I mean, I hate drugs, but they have their place. Look at medical science. If we didn't have the illicit drugs, we wouldn't have the legitimate drugs.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean, even me, and a vehemently anti, mind altering drug person, sees the point that hey, sometimes they're necessary. So these people on Twitter who are saying that Joe Rogan hates video games aren't looking deeply enough into what he's saying. And that's a common problem with that's a common problem with fucking Twitter in general, and why I hate it. Everybody takes the most easy bite-sized bit and they blarg it out and they don't think about what is actually being said. They don't look at the context of what is being said.
Yeah.
Case in point, Count Dankula made a joke video, Nazi pug, really bad, got all fucking in trouble. The thing of it is he was making a joke. He was fucking around with his wife.
Right.
He even says in the beginning.
Right. And I mean, that's what I find a lot, Brian, is like it seems like the compartment that was once comedy is no longer allowed. It's almost like you get a big fuck you, and it's like nobody sees it in that space anymore. As where comedy lies.
The guy's video started. My girlfriend's always ranting and raving about how cute her wee little dog is. And so I decided to turn it into the least cute thing I could think of, a Nazi. That should not have gone to court. He says it right in the video opener. This is a joke. This is satire. This is not to be taken seriously. Right. And also, Nazis are bad because he turned it into the worst thing he could think of.
There's also another part that I want to read.
Valerius has it right. And he's right. Just play them in moderation is all he's saying. He never trashed gaming. He didn't do shit on anyone who plays and just doesn't do it much as all. See, the thing of it is I know Joe Rogan used to hate video games. He used to think everyone was a neckbeard. But Joe Rogan is a weird person because he'll get it into his head to do a thing. Like a random thing. Bill Burr's the same way. They'll get it in like Bill Burr got into drumming and shit. And he got into anime like One Punch Man. Have you seen his bit on One Punch Man? It's hysterical. But no,
I like him.
Like,
he's hilarious.
But like, I mean, Joe Rogan is one of those people that, when he finds out that, video games have actually done a lot of good for the world. Video games have become almost an art form. They help surgeons do surgery. They help rehabilitate people who've had injuries. Like my mom who had TIAs, that we used video games. We got her Animal Crossing, and it actually gave her a couple of years more of cognitive function.
Right. I mean, there was
like anything can be a tool if you use it the right way.
Yeah. There was another thing that he said here. So like we said, video games are a real problem. He already said that about how they're fucking fun. He mentioned that, but he was like, you could be doing something exciting and fun, which, I mean, it can be, or you could just, let me read the whole thing. You could be doing something exciting and fun, or you could just be playing fucking video games, he continued. 3 years later, you could be the same kid playing video games, waiting for the next whatever fucking game you're going to waste your time on.
And that is a valid point.
And there are kids that make a lot of fucking money playing video games, he finished, but you have to be adaptable. You have to be able to play multiple video games because the one game you get really good at, what are the odds that it'll be around in 5 years' time? Which is very true.
Yeah.
Fortnite goes away. What happens to
not
Ninja?
Not every game is fucking StarCraft.
Right. Not every game has years.
But see, the thing of it is he brings
it.
up a very good point. He brings up a very good point. If you're playing video games for 3 years instead of working on something else for 3 years, you're going to be at a disadvantage because video games don't have any upward mobility. I mean, they do now because you got streaming and you've got you've got esports. But if you're just going to be playing, hey, Mesden, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing today?
If you're going to just be playing video games and not doing anything with it, he's right. That's not good. You should be doing. Look, I'll put it this way, okay? In my childhood, I was told to play video games by my eye doctor, hand-eye coordination. So yeah. And in my teens, I was playing video games. In my 20s, I was playing video games. And now in my 30s, I'm finally playing video games for a reason. But until then, I wasn't playing them for a reason. I was playing them to kill time because I was waiting. I was trying to get a job, and I couldn't get a job. So I needed something to do to kill the day away while I was waiting for phone calls and sending out emails and other stuff. I never neglected those things. I always did those first. I'm that kind of person. If there's a chore to be done, you do it first, and then you do the fun stuff.
Then you do the fun stuff. Yeah.
That way it's not kind of bugging you in the back of your head. It's like, shit, I got to do the dishes.
But to me, though,
fuck, I get it done.
I can relate to that. I can relate to what he's saying because there were times where I can tell you that I did the irresponsible thing, but also, like, okay, before I got into streaming, like, guys, I would spend hours on video games, and people would say stuff about it. Like, they'd be like, dude, you're, like, neglecting some things here. Maybe you should, like, reconsider that. I'm not as bad about it anymore because I actually am a structured, like, sort of, you know, I control it. I mean, right now it's been kind of out of control because, you know, I've just had a lot of time at home, but I've also been balancing it a lot more, too, because, you know, there's times where I could play something, but I don't. And then there's, you know...
I will say one thing. There is a disability factor to it. Because, I don't know about you, I can't work. Like, it took them 10 fucking years since I was 18 to tell me that. I didn't find out until I was 28, but I literally can't work. So for me personally, playing video games is a way to kill time until I inevitably drown in my own lung butter. It'll happen eventually. It's how it is.
I'm also not denying someone making the argument that is there some mental health things that people could benefit from playing video games? Yes.
Oh yeah.
But I also
immersion therapy and shit like that.
But I'm not saying that people should just come in and be like should just fucking absorb themselves into a game and do that for 6 months and do nothing else. Like, I'm sorry, I cannot make that a fair. There's no fair argument to say that that's okay.
Valeria says, my mom taught me to play when I was 4. I'm 31. I make videos of my Let's Plays for some who can't play or just want to watch. It makes someone happy or they enjoy it. Then I did my job. I play anything but sports, so I have a huge basic game. Yeah, I do the same thing. I just grab my games for the blind. And before I did that, I was doing the exact same thing as you. The thing of it is it's actually, you see, we were talking off stream and we were like, Joe Rogan's wrong, blah, 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 blah. Or other people are wrong, all that shit. But it actually is a really nuanced take. Are video games bad? No, but they can be. Is Joe Rogan wrong about video games? Does Joe Rogan hate video games? No, but he does bring up really good points.
Right, and I mean, you also put where what the episode was actually about. And what the episode was revolved around with the interview that he was doing was a lot of it had to do with just keeping yourself keeping like in good mental health and physical health,
keeping yourself
balanced is what was at the heart of the statements that were made in that video, because he was talking about just
good balance is sugar. Good balance is video games. A little
balance bit is hard though. Balance is hard. I'm not going to deny it. Like, there's been plenty of times where I've had to make those choices, but it's like,
dude, I'm in horrific. Dude, I'll be honest. I'm in horrific pain today. The fibro is really bad. My lungs are really hurting. My throat's really hurting. I'm gonna be eating a bag of fucking Dino Bites and a bag of tater tots over the course of the day. That's terrible food, but I'm going to eat it because I need that dopamine drip.
Right.
That's not balanced at all. So what am I going to do? Tomorrow I'm going to walk and do my exercises and eat healthy and try to undo the damage. The only thing I can do is know that I need it, do it, and then recover from it. I know it's a terrible thing I'm doing, but I mean, I really need that fucking dopamine, man.
Yeah,
I really hurt.
But I guess what made me so frustrated about this is that everybody becomes up in arms, like
Everybody's
"Oh."
seeing one side of an argument and then not taking the time to look at the nuance.
Yeah, and even if they, like in some cases, some of the tweets that I've been seeing, it's just like people are so caught up on this that I'm just like, I'm kind of confused by it, because there are cases where I would say that there are some people that video games may be maybe just completely unhealthy thing for them to do, because they're just not doing the things that they really need to do. They're completely neglecting responsibilities. Their health is suffering. If those things are happening, I'm sorry, I cannot really make the argument that it's a good thing.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you a really good example. My wife, right? My wife, she is currently out of a job because COVID sucks and she can't wear a mask.
Yeah.
And I have a whole fucking thing about that.
Oh yeah.
So when she was working, she barely ever played video games because she had a job to do. She had chores to do. She had all this other stuff to do.
Right.
So by the end of the day, she just watched Netflix. Now that she doesn't have a job and we've finally moved, she hasn't played a video game in the entire month of July because she's been busy doing crafting stuff and watching Netflix and putting out job applications and doing call outs and stuff like that. Once she gets done with all these artistic projects that she's working on,
right,
then maybe she'll put 2,000 more hours into Stardew Valley or 4,000 more hours into World of Warcraft. But as many as like she'll spend days, weeks, months in World of Warcraft, in Stardew Valley, in Skyrim, in Game of Choice, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to getting the chores done, getting the doing her wifely duties, which is my euphemism for sex, taking me to doctor's appointments, doing any kind of cooking that anybody wants her to do because she's a really good baker, she'll stop the game and then go do those things. And then she'll come back to the game because to her, the game is just the same as her art, as her other stuff, as her reading, as any of the other thing. It is a way to kill time until there's actually something to do. If you treat video games as a way to kill time until there's actually something to do, or alternatively, if you treat it as a job like Bill and I are doing, and so many others are doing,
right?
I mean, then it's okay. The problem arises when the games take exclusivity from everything else.
Right, and that's when it's
if parents would actually make sure they don't buy their child an M-rated game, video games wouldn't be that shout on as much as it does. People piping up is mostly they don't even play video games. Their arguments make no sense sometimes. Yeah,
that's true.
My parents gave me fucking Catacomb Abyss and Wolfenstein 3D when I was 9, and I was able to tell the difference. I mean, they're pixels. Come on, it's not fucking real.
Yeah, some kids don't even want they don't want their kids playing video games, which
I
mean, I'm not I can understand.
I'm not against that. I'm like parent's gonna parent. I don't care as long as they're not abusing the kids. I mean, my parents wouldn't let me have a cell phone, but I don't like cell phones anyway.
Sorry about that, guys. That mic peaked a little bit. Sorry about that, but
oh shit, did I peak?
No, I did. I could see that I did. But anyways. I don't know. I just feel like it was just a misread into topic, and I think a lot of people
Twitter. It's fucking
I mean, this is just typical Twitter because they didn't actually extend the video to where he's making the point that he even brought the point that as a comedian he was people would bring up that argument like, oh well, you're not going to make it, and he always said that he thought those people were dumb, and that I mean, for someone that wants to do something. If someone came to me and told me, "Oh, you're not going to make it in whatever you're doing," it's like, yeah, well, whatever. I mean, that's what you think.
I still don't have a cell phone.
That's your viewpoint.
See, my uncle told me I wasn't going to graduate high school because I was on a ton of psych meds at the time because California, and I was a rambunctious kid, and in the 90s, and that's what you did with kids in the 90s, you gave them meds. So I was on 1.5 grams of lithium a day.
Yeah, med them out,
horrifying amount.
But instead of doing basically therapy.
Well, basically, I had I didn't even need therapy. I have ADD. I'm twitchy as shit, man. But he told me I wasn't going to graduate. I had 3 years of work to do, and I was so fucking pissed at the presumption that he said, he's saying that I can't graduate after he spent all of my life abusing me physically and emotionally, that I did 3 years of work in 3 months, graduated on time, and gave him a big old fuck you.
Well, there you go.
That's why I'm getting spite on the back of my left hand.
Right. I mean, it's just it's annoying though. It's annoying how people just like I don't know. I get so tired of this shit.
It's annoying. It's annoying that people will look at the headline and not read the article. It's annoying that people will listen to the sound clip but not look for the context. It's annoying that people will just take the first thing that they see and extrapolate all of this bullshit from that instead of actually doing their due diligence and research.
Right, and
we could go on Twitter. We could go on Twitter and say something completely untrue and outrageous. Donald Trump is black because his grandmother was married to a black man, and so he's black, and so Black Lives Matter. We could say that without any proof, and there will be people who believe it. That is fucking sad.
Yeah.
That is a sad statement on the zeitgeist. I've been using the word zeitgeist an awful lot lately. I just love that word.
I don't actually know that word.
The zeitgeist is the common pulse, the human, society's pulse.
Gotcha.
Watching the zeitgeist is literally the same as having your finger on the pulse of society. Donald Trump suggested drinking bleach would cure COVID, and a few people actually did it. See, that's the thing. He didn't actually suggest that. He didn't actually say that. But people think he did.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Everybody thinks that Donald Trump is this fucking warmonger. He's actually trying to get people out of Afghanistan. The Democrats are blocking him, but I won't get into that bullshit. That's not important. The important thing is
it's just like not even. It's just
the important thing is people aren't. Yeah. We can get into that some other time. The important thing is people aren't fucking doing their due diligence. They just see something, hear something, and just assume the worst or the best in whatever in the case.
Yeah, because this has less to do with like. I mean, I know that in the title, like, yes, the title might be kind of clickbaity, but it was more because, and Ryan and I talked about this before. Which, by the way, guys, complete transparency.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Complete transparency. Because that's the type of person I am. We were talking about the fact that, hey, isn't this title kind of clickbaity? And yes, to a degree, but we were talking about the fact that we wanted to have healthy conversation. Like
it is the wellspring of which this conversation has come from.
Right, and it was just a jumping off point that seemed like a good place to start because it seemed like it was.
And it's like, is it clickbaity? Kind of, yeah, but at the same time, that's where we're starting, so it's also accurate. I don't mind clickbait as long as it's accurate.
Right, and that's the point that I'm trying to make. But even a greater point, though, more of what I was trying to get at with this is I'm trying to focus on the fact that there's so many things in the world now. It seems like the context does not matter. Like it doesn't even fucking matter. People will just.
Hey, Trap Legacy, how's it going?
They will not take it. Yeah, Trap, what's up, man? They will not take it for what it. Like.
I can explain it. It's confirmation bias. People want to be confirmed in their own opinions. They don't want to know if their opinions are right or not. They just want to be confirmed in their own opinions.
Yeah.
And that is extremely dangerous because if you don't challenge your opinions, if you don't challenge what you know, how the fuck are you ever going to know if you're right or not?
Yeah, because I think that's something that you need to do is that I'm always the type of person that I try to challenge my worldview of things.
Yeah.
I'll give an example. Grow as a human.
Exactly. I'll give an example. Transgender people. And yes, I know I'm going to catch all kinds of shit for this, but I don't care. Transgender people. I used to have a problem with transgender people because I felt as a disabled person that they were ruining their perfectly able bodies for no reason. But I didn't understand what being transgender was. So I tried to ask, and I tried to ask, and I tried to ask. And every goddamn time I would talk to a transgender person, hey, can I ask you some questions? Yeah, sure. What do you need to know? Why are you doing it this way? You transphobe! Well, that doesn't fucking help me understand the damn issue. I finally, a couple of years ago, actually got a chance to talk to an actual transgender person, and they linked me to a medical video, and that explained it perfectly. And it's like, finally, thank you. My worldview has changed. I now have no problem with transgender people. I wouldn't do surgery myself, but it's their body. I'm not going to tell them yay or nay, and there's a valid reason why they're doing it. Yeah. So my original argument of why are they doing this to their body has an answer, because their brains are fucked up. So, I mean, you should want to challenge your worldview. You should want to debate people and
Yeah.
discuss things with. You should want to know that your worldview is informed and correct.
Right.
You shouldn't want
Yeah.
to be right. You should want to be correct.
Right. It's not about for me. It's not about me trying to win an argument here against other people. I'm just making the point that I think it's a little bit silly to just look at something with a small little like picture, you know, or a small little like glimpse of it without the full picture, because it's like you won't get the full picture if you don't listen to the whole thing, because the whole video was not. It wasn't bashing video games. It wasn't like
he's
saying,
not going to
"Fuck
bash video games for 2 hours. For one thing, there's not enough there's not enough to bash for 2 hours. There's not
right.
fucking.
The point was like we've said before.
It was
the point,
comment.
yeah, it was valid in a lot of ways, because he was making the point that, you know, hey, you know, in a lot of ways, like, even though he didn't say balance things, but it's there. I mean, there was a point in the video where he actually was talking about the life balance. Like, we saw part of that video, I think, earlier here.
Body and mind. My body tells my mind to take my ass out and exercise all the damn time now.
Right. You need to be willing to take there needs to be some sense of accountability, though, to yourself, you know, like,
yeah,
because you don't want to be, you know, you don't want to do things that are going to hurt yourself. And that's the biggest thing, is that I have no problem with people wanting to play video games. And I mean, say you have a long session, something that I've noticed from my own experience. There's been a few times where I had a super long session with games, and I literally felt like shit after, and I needed to take like a whole entire day to take a break and recover from it. And, you know, maybe that's not everybody's experience. There's people that I know that can spend hours every day on games. That's just not my way.
How the hell they do that, man? After about an hour, I start getting bored, and I start fidgeting, and I need to do something else.
Right. I mean, I also like reading comics, which, by the way, I need to do more of, which, you know, I might end up doing that today. Who knows? Because
the only comic I can actually read is Alfie, because all the other comics have really shitty formatting, and either that or I have to blow them up so big that I end up having to scroll all over the page, and it's just such a pain in the ass. And I'm not going to say where you can find Alfie, because it's an adult comic, but it actually has a lot of really good plot.
Yeah, I mean, I typically read a lot of DC stuff, but it's besides the point. The point that I'm making, though, is just that you mix it up also. Like, don't be afraid to do
diversify
other things.
your interests.
And that's one thing that I would say that people sometimes don't do, but I would say that there's just a balance. There's a balance that people need to think about. And I'm not, and again, like I said before, this doesn't mean that there can't be, it can't help with your mental, you know, the way you feel, because sometimes people, you know, need a mental day, and maybe they just want to screw off and play some video games.
Or in my instance, sometimes you just want to eat Dino Bites and tater tots like an 8-year-old.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Dude, I don't give a fuck. I'm 8 and 80. I'm fine with that. I am a small child and an old man.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Which makes my wife a very strange individual.
Well, if you put it like that.
Come on, that's a good joke.
A little bit on the creepy side, but okay.
It's all about adaptability. It's all about it's all about knowing yourself. Be introspective. Look at yourself. Look at what you need.
Right.
Look at what you can offer to a person. Know yourself before you try to know other people. That's been my biggest problem with U.S. politics, all the way on down, from U.S. politics to other people to all this shit. I grew up as a Christian. I don't like Christianity anymore. I'm a pagan now, but I did read the Bible. I actually read the damn thing because I was in jail and I needed something to do. And I don't remember the exact quote, but it's something to the akin of, do not judge somebody else based on the mote in their eye when you have a log in your eye. Take care of your own shit first and then worry about other people. We need to take care of our own shit as a country first, and then we can try to play world police. You know, these Twitterati motherfuckers need to worry about their own shattered lives instead of pissing and moaning about somebody who just happens to like playing video games or whatever the case may be.
Or another thing is that people think that Like, I don't know. It's just like I feel like how how they always say, like, if you're in a situation where, for instance, a plane's about to go down, they always make the point that, hey, put on your own mask, then try to help people. Or same thing with, like, I think diving also does that. Because it's like, you're going to be useless if you're not. If you're dying and then the other person's dying, well, make it, even your odds a little bit. Maybe make it so you're not dying, and then help the person that is dying. You know what I mean? You got to kind of help yourself first before you can help somebody else.
I'll admit it. I do it too. I've had a huge fucking kind of sad blow up with my buddy about his work and me feeling like he wasn't getting enough recognition. Yeah. I shouldn't be losing my shit over that. I need to be focusing on my own thing. Me focusing on that yesterday completely tanked my mood and fucked up my day. Right. So, I mean, I'm not saying I'm above this shit. This is shit I need to work on. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. Yeah. I'm just some dude with a mic.
But I also think
you and I both, we're working on this shit, same as we're telling other people to do. We're not saying not saying that we're better than you. We're saying we're just as bad as everyone. We're just humans. So what do humans do? We work on ourselves. We improve ourselves. We become the best version of us that we can be.
Right. Exactly. Precisely. That's all you can do, really. I mean, and I don't know. I just think that it's just. I just think it was just an
overreaction among so many other overreactions.
Right.
Case in point. Destroy All Humans. Have you played that old game? They've just re-released it.
I think it's tomorrow, right?
I've seen some reviews of it. So I never actually played the game, but I did watch a bunch of the cutscenes because G-Man Lives did a bunch of.
I played a little bit of the demo, and then I played a little bit of the original, and they're not. They pretty like what I played was pretty much like a remaking of what they already.
They fixed it up. They brought new controls and stuff like that. But anyway. To my point, have you heard any of the dialogue? Like the tongue-in-cheek kind of B-movie stuff, and how they're
some of it's really, really funny. Like it's
how they're cracking wise. People are gonna say it's racist or it's anti-communist or any other number of fucking things, and they're not gonna actually play the game. And it's like, how about instead of worrying about that, you worry about the fact that you're fucking single and your body is shutting down because you're eating vegetarian, even though you really shouldn't. I'm gonna straight up say it. 90% of people should not be vegetarian.
Well, because they're not doing they aren't actually educating themselves on what they actually need to do to be healthy if they want to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, vegetarianism is good for maybe 10% of people with specific dietary needs. That if you want to have less meat in your life, that's fine, but you should still have a little bit of meat. Like me, if I go 30 hours without meat, I will get violently sick because I'll have stomach acid issues. But that being said, I don't go fucking eating steak every day. That would be insane.
Well, yeah. But I mean, it's just, like, I just think that, and there's been times that I have regretted the amount of time that I put into video games. Or there was like a time where I've actually put in responsibilities. I didn't put responsibilities first, and I paid for that. So I just don't want to see anybody else be doing that. And I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, you got to use your time wisely. And the best advice I could give someone is just, as things come up, take care of them. Take care of them in the moment, and your life is going to be a lot easier. Trust me.
That is as many video games as I played, as long as I have. That has always been how I've done things, because if I don't do the thing immediately, it will stay in the back of my mind and bug the shit out of me all day, and I won't be able to get any peace until I'm done.
You got to get stuff done.
Then I can focus on the fun stuff without having to worry. I mean, I take care of my chores and shit like that before I stream, and that's supposed to be my job. I take my real life responsibilities more importantly than I take my quote unquote job, because the real life responsibilities are right here, right now, need to be done. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's all about prioritizing what you need to do. You put it all on a list, and if you can't get it done, you move it on to the next day.
Well, then as far as like people saying, there was like the way that he had put, like, you don't get anything out of it. And to me, what he was talking about is you don't get anything out of it if you I mean, okay, maybe you get the excitement that you beat a game, you get the excitement that there was a cool story, it was fun, all that shit. But the point is that I think that it's more nuanced than that, and it's more revolving around the fact that, meaning you don't get anything, meaning like your life didn't get improved from just video gaming. Because, for instance, I love video games, but one of the ways that I got into streaming is that I realized, hey, I'm wasting a lot of time, and why not make this into a thing that's actually related to a job, and it actually is revolving around maybe it's actually revolves it around some structure. For a year I played video games way too long. I would do like 7-hour streams every day, and it was terrible. It was not healthy. And trust me, it did play I did pay a mental price for this. Okay? I definitely paid a mental price for it. And I just would not want to see anybody else do that. So then I realized, wait, let's be a little bit more balanced. And I've actually found myself, sometimes being after like 3-4 hours being kind of like, I want to take a break. But then there's other times where I played with friends, I was having a good time, and I lost track of time. The other day I did like a 7-hour stream. Wasn't intended.
I don't know how you do that. I wish I could do that.
It was not. It was not an intended thing to do. And part of me was kind of like, oh, I feel like crap for doing that. And I'm just careful with it. If I have a day like that, usually I need to kind of take a day and kind of take it easy and do some other things. Read a book. Whatever it might be. And that's just from my own experience.
Well, that's just more diversifying your fun time so that you're not focusing on one specific kind of fun time. Like, I mean, even with games, there's a world of difference between something like a roguelike and something like a turn-based strategy and something like a real-time strategy and something like a platformer and a shooter. And I mean, the different genres, the different genres train different parts of your brain and your hand-eye coordination. Right.
I don't know. And it's just, I don't know. It's just, people are just taking this shit too seriously, is the bottom line. Like, he's not coming with pitchforks to fucking take your games. Like, it's not like that.
Take your games!
It's just like, I'm just saying that it's like, if you want to work, if you want to go after something, even the guys that look at the guys that play professionally. Do you think that they just sit in their room and just play the game only? No, they have to actually do things. Like, they have to be part of a group that plays it. They gotta show up to maybe.
It's not even that. They still have to get up. They still have to take showers. They still have to do dishes. They still have to make breakfast. They still have to pay bills. They still have to do all this shit, all this little shit, before they play games.
Right.
And like any little shit, if you leave it go for too long, you're gonna have a bad time.
Right. And there's work. There's work that's required, and that's the part that I'm talking about. That it's not just someone clicking a button and turning on a game and just playing it. There has to be some actual like work put in, meaning like you got to figure out like hey, is this game a game that requires me to be part of a team? Like, maybe like, you see these guys on TV that do like Overwatch or do Counter-Strike or whatever they're doing. There's, they have to get with a team usually, and usually there's some sort of process, there's some sort of tryout that needs to happen, there's competitions they usually have to compete in, to get their name out there. They can't just sit at home and do that. I mean, in some cases, maybe they're sitting at home doing it, but they're typing to people, they're talking to people, they're communicating with people. They may have an agent in some cases. I mean,
Oh, yeah, esports gaming is nothing like the shit we do it for fun.
Right.
It's nothing we do. It's nothing like what we do as streamers.
Well,
e-gaming is...
Yeah.
Okay, it's the difference between my buddy Ron, who paints Bob Ross style oil paints, and a professional artist who is commissioned to do just all kinds of shit.
Right. That's a different thing, and I mean, it's just like you.
Or alternatively, my wife making an apple pie and somebody who's a professional baker. I mean, they're a home cook versus a master chef. There's a difference between amateur and professional, and a lot of people do not have what it takes to be professionals. Right. Because you've got to like something to an absurd degree to want to be a professional.
Well,
Of any-
and, yeah, exactly. And to me, it's just like, and then you look at some of these orgs, like, you know, the video game orgs. Like, there are guys that I know of that, you know, they're so busy dealing with that they don't actually have time to game themselves, because they got to make the connections. They got to figure out, hey, where can we put these guys to get them, you know, get them in some competitions that'll put them in
Yeah, but you know when they do finally get to sit down and game, boy, they love it, man. I remember when I got out of jail after 8 months of no gaming at all. Oh man, it was like I was a pig in shit. I swear to God, I was so happy.
Right.
But even there, I still went and met my PO. I still went and did all the counseling shit I had to do. I even as pig and shit as I was about the gaming, I still got done with my other bullshit first, so that I could spend time with my favorite games.
Right, and there's been times where I can think back to high school. There was mistakes that I made. Like, there were sometimes projects that I should have been working on, but thank God I had a mother that was competent enough to be like, you know, kind of put my ass into gear and kind of like just force me to kind of do these things. And I know some people that might be like, oh, that's you know, that's pretty shitty that you have to have someone else pushing you, but it's the truth. I mean, it's what happened. You know, it's part of what happened. I mean, and I'm just being honest. And the only reason why I'm sharing this is because I just am trying to show to people that basically, I've done. I know this from experience.
We've been there. Hell, everyone's been there. Everyone who's gamed has been there.
I made that mistake. I've made that mistake before. I've made these mistakes before where it was like I had to get ready to do so. You know, we're about to get ready to go somewhere, and I got into a match. You know, and it's like,
if you want to talk about fucking worse, I mean, what about weed? Everybody loves weed except for me, because I can't smoke it because it'll make me sick, or it'll kill me because of my lungs. Everybody loves weed. Everybody loves drugs. Everybody loves to intoxicate and alter their brain. That shit is way worse than video games, because that actively alters the chemicals in your brain.
Right. And I actually,
I'm still in favor of legalizing it.
Yeah, I am a recovering alcoholic. Okay, I am actually a recovering alcoholic, and so I understand what it's like to have an addiction. I understand. I get that.
An actual factual chemical dependence.
And okay, with me, like, if we're being honest, was I drinking every single day of my life? No, I was not drinking every single day of my life. I was what you call a binge drinker, and I would go on these benders for a while. I never had a physical dependency to alcohol, but
you're like my buddy Ron. You caught the pattern before the
I definitely know people that are, though. I definitely have seen it time and time again.
That's the same thing with him. He saw it. He saw the signs in him. He didn't want to become like that, so he stopped before it got really bad.
Right, and there were times that I can tell you that I did things that I'm not proud of. I drank and drove. I said and did things that I am not proud of. I pissed myself and done all that fun stuff. So if you want to talk about that, being in your own filth, you barf and you're pissed. Yeah, it's a real fun time. Let me tell you. But
what's that acrid smell of ammonia? Oh, it's me.
Yeah. Oh, it's me. Oh, there's nothing wrong, officer. There's no alcohol in my. There's no blood in my.
Hey, Timey.
There's no alcohol in my blood system. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. There's no alcohol. There's no blood in my alcohol system. Yeah, that's what I was trying.
There you go.
I totally screwed that up. Like
no, it's a good joke. It's a good joke. So this is funny. When we were renting the place, I thought that my old conviction was going to be an issue. It doesn't even show up on the fucking on their background check, which means I'm basically off the list. I mean, I'm still on the list, and like cops know, but I'm not on any public lists anymore.
Right. Well,
I'm finally free. So to celebrate, my buddy Derek bought me a bottle of fucking I think it was like $230 scotch.
Oh God.
It's so good, dude.
Wow.
I'm not a fan of spruce age scotch, but honestly, it's I mean, it's not as good as oak, but it's still pretty good. But like, this thing's gonna last me for like a decade, because I'm gonna I'm gonna have a drink on my birthday. I'm gonna have a drink at Christmas. I'm gonna have a drink at New Year's, and that's pretty much it. Just a little bit here and there. And then like if we do something really cool, like if we buy a house or like if I get down below
Right.
like a momentous occasion. But I've never had a problem with drinking. But I just wanted to gloat about this fucking expensive bottle of scotch I have in my closet.
Right. But I know that we kind of come a little bit off the topic of what we were saying, but I think it all is connected. It all ultimately is connected because
because I'm only drinking little bits and bobs here, and this thing's going to last me 10 years, as opposed to just chugging it away because ooh, it's a good thing.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing with me is that it's like with me, alcohol literally becomes an obsession. Like it becomes an obsession.
I'm the same way with calorie counting and weird shit like that. Like if I really get into thinking about it, I will become completely obsessed with losing weight and trying not to overeat and all this stuff. I will become dangerously unhealthily obsessed with counting calories and making sure I don't eat anything. I swear to God, I could be anorexic in very short amount of time.
I've seen my buddy. He went down that road where it was like he lost a bunch of weight initially, but he was doing really unhealthy things. Like
it's like, hey, that's great, you're thin. Oh crap, you're
eating once a day or something like that. You know,
sometimes I only eat once a day. My problem is I eat too much.
Right, but I'm making the point that
he'll eat a carrot.
I've seen people like do things in other extremes that you don't think of. That usually it's like like people can do things in any like. They can go too far with anything, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. You can go too far with fucking jogging, like Jim Fix, who had a big fucking heart attack while he was jogging.
Right.
But,
yeah.
Like, my thing is I like eating in the early part of the day because then it's done. I don't have to eat anymore, and I can focus on streaming.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You had the gastric last April 2019.
How's that working out for you? I've had a bunch of different stories from how gastric works, because my mom had a failed gastric bypass back before they knew what they were doing.
Oh,
this back in the 80s. Shit. And then
oh wow,
a couple other people I know, like
72 pounds. Well, hey,
nice. That's awesome, man.
I'm glad that it's working out for you.
What are you down to?
Well, she said she lost 70. Oh well, I guess.
Yeah, I'm curious what she's down to because
if you want to share that, because I understand.
I've lost a bunch of well, obviously, I've lost a bunch of weight naturally just by trying to eat less and trying to exercise more, and this move's really fucked that up because I've gained 20 pounds again. But I started at 310 last year, and before we moved, I was 380. So still a little bit over 200. So you have more to go. Still, I mean, 200. That's that. Yeah, you're in the final stretch.
You've made strides, though. You've definitely made strides. Like that's good.
You're definitely on the road to being pretty well done.
Like you're doing, you're doing things right. That's good to hear. That's good to hear when people actually, are able to. It's able to work out for them. And I'm glad for that. Because let me tell you, I mean, weight's another thing. That is not an easy thing. I don't care what anybody says. Like, there's some people that have, like you look at someone like my brother. He has a great metabolism. He can, he can burn calories like a monster, But it's just like it'll catch up to him. Don't worry, it'll catch up to you at some point. But I'm just
honestly, I would rather be like I am now, overeating but working out every day than not eating anything ever. Therapist told me he has 4 other clients had the same surgery but gained it all back, and I'm the only one who's been successful. Funny, that's what the officer said on the way out the door from jail. Oh, man, Ryan, I've had so many people in here. We've dealt with so many cons. You're the first one I think jail actually was good for. And I said, yeah, because it scared the ever-loving bejesus out of me, and he laughed. Dude, when I went to jail, I was 383 pounds. When I came out of jail, I was 250 pounds. They gave me my old clothes when I left. There's a fucking before and after photo. My shirt was hanging off me. My pants didn't fit, and they just put me on a bus and sent me on my way. Because they released me at 2 in the fucking morning. What kind of shit sense does that make?
Oh man. Well, where did you end up after that?
Oh, I was staying with my buddy for a few months.
Yeah, 2 a.m. because
2 a.m.
That's a.
My dad was, and the worst part is they called my dad at 1, and he came out to the jail and waited, and he ended up leaving, and then 15 minutes later they released me. He was so pissed that they did that.
Oh God, yeah, that's just. Well, yeah, so.
In fucking jail. There's a fucking example of a bunch of people who didn't know how to prioritize their lives.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just like, it seems like there's and there just ends up being a lot of frequent flyers, you know, in that situation. It just, you know.
Jail is not meant to help people. Jail is meant to punish. I think jail should, or jail and prison for that matter, should have tools for people who actually want to do better. But the tools they have are there, but they're kind of lacking. Like, if you get out of jail or prison, especially prison, if you're on parole, you're not getting hired unless it's like fucking workaday stuff.
Right, and I think that's, you know, I think that's why, you know, I don't know. I just think it kind of stinks how the way that we do some of these things. You know, I feel like there needs to be more of a rehabilitative sort of system for those.
Yeah,
that,
the idea should be to
Yeah.
not have people go back.
Right, because you don't. Because a lot of times, someone goes in for something minor, then they come out of prison as, you know, they've graduated to another level of crime school. You know.
Yeah, but there is, but it's so piss poorly organized, and like it varies prison by prison, state by state, that it's, you really got to get lucky to
It's
get
a
any
good
kind
idea. Don't get me wrong, but it's just the implementation is what.
Well, I mean, that's why I don't trust the government.
Is
I don't
what the
trust
problem
the government
is.
to do anything right.
That's what the problem is. It's a good idea, but it's the implementation that.
Honestly, dude, I know your dad worked on it. The ADA has the same problem.
Well, yeah. I'm not saying that means that.
Great idea, but the trickle down problems that it's caused, like for people with asthma and invisible diseases, is people are afraid to hire us.
Right, exactly. And I mean,
I'm not calling your old man out. You can't fucking see this shit from
he had
before.
He had a part in it, okay? He had a part
and
in
it did more good than bad.
From a certain angle, you know, that had nothing specifically to do with those things, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I think objectively it did more good than bad.
Right, and that's what we're looking at. You know.
Honestly, that's what you have to look at with any policy. Does it do more good than bad?
Right. And I mean, there's I think there's
like
always
Obamacare, not so much.
There's always room for things to be reworked. I mean, I think that's something.
That's something else. I think we need to have
or maybe
a lot more of an open. I think we need to have a lot more of an open approach,
right,
to reworking some of these laws, some of these statutes.
I would agree with that. I can agree with that. I mean, I think for sure, you know.
Ooh, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is 40% off. Sorry, sales happened.
Just in case you were wondering, Bloodstained Ritual is 30% off.
Oh, there are billions. Never goes on more than 10% sale. Lame.
Yeah, you're looking at the good old Steam, but anyways, guys, I'm not trying to divert too much off of the topic, but I think like at the heart, and maybe at the heart of it, I'm just kind of getting to trying to get to the point that basically, like, look at it, you know, just like figure out ways to expend your time in the best way possible. You know, don't like, you know, take care of your priorities, take care of your responsibilities before you do other things. You know, that's just the bottom line, because it's just like, these are important things and they're important to your life. And I feel like, you know, put the things that are important before the fun stuff, you know, and that's just at the heart of what we've been saying here is you know, you just gotta, it's finding that balance. And I know it's not the easiest thing, but you gotta find a balance. You gotta figure it out.
Oh, Beat Hazard 2. God, everyone needs to play Beat Hazard 2. It's an amazing game. Sorry, I get distracted by sales.
Well, I was just saying, though, that you just need to, you know, like I said, at the heart of what I was trying to say is just, you know, it's just a balance thing. It's just playing that juggling act to kind of, you know, make sure you're getting the shit done and having some accountability for, you know, yourself.
And look, if you fuck it up, do better next time. Don't dwell on your failures. Acknowledge them. Yeah, you failed. That happens. So
take it as a moment of learning.
Yes, exactly. A true failure is a wrong that you do not learn from.
Right, and I feel like the things that I failed from, I have learned. You know, and I know this is like everybody says this, but I mean, it's true. It actually is true. I've learned more from the things that I have failed at than the things that I did successfully, because the things that I failed at, that doesn't mean that eventually I wasn't successful at those things. Eventually,
why
I was.
That's why I have a huge problem with parents who coddle their kids to the point where they never have any challenge in life. And disabled people have a big problem with having parents like that. And it's not a knock on the parents, because your parents, you just want what's best for your kid.
Yeah.
I always struggle with feeling like a failure. It's a major source of my depression. Yeah, I think I think everybody suffers from that to a greater or lesser degree. Everybody feels like a failure at some point.
I mean, I've had that issue. I mean, it was like, for instance, when I stopped walking, which I was able to walk before, but because of my muscle disease and the fact that basically I had a heel cord lengthening surgery, which, by the way, they don't even do anymore, it threw off my sense of balance, and the braces that they made didn't work for me or whatever, and I wasn't able to walk again. And it was a really hard thing for me to deal with, because I was like, I didn't push myself hard enough to do this, and it's my fault that I'm in this situation. But then I realized, you know what? Fuck it. It is what it is. We're moving forward. We're not going to just live in this darkness. We're going to actually fucking live our life and enjoy our life. And you know what? I have a pretty good fucking life. Maybe not every day is amazing, but you know what? It could be worse, And I mean,
I had a horrifically bad childhood. I was an absolute monster as a child, and for a long time I had extremely bad guilt about it. I felt really bad that I was a terrible person when I was younger, and I used to fucking cut and be depressed, and I mean all kinds of shit. I've still got scars, and eventually I had to deal with it. I was like, look, it happened. I'm not that person anymore, so I'm going to move forward and try to make up for it by being a good person, by leaving the campsite a little cleaner than when I found it.
Right, and I think that's I
accept that I have that in me to be able to do that. Everybody has that in them, to be just a terrible human being. But what do? I mean, do you wallow in the fact that you used to be a piece of shit, or do you fucking accept it, own it, and do better? Actions speak louder than words. So I always try to act in a good way, because that's who I am now.
Not a cutter, but I do have lots of self-harm scars. I mean, there's things that we've done,
Oh yeah. Now, if I want to hurt myself, I go exercising way too much.
Well, and see, I never really was, and I think, and then actually, you look at something like my alcohol abuse. It actually has zero to nothing to do with. And it's just funny to people a lot of times, is that it literally has nothing to do with why I drank so much. Because first it started as a party thing, then it kind of became this kind of like sad, disgusting thing where it was just like,
You were Barney Gumble.
I was just, a lot of times, like, and another thing that I used to do is, like, I remember the first time that I got sober, because it's been a few times, there's been some relapses and shit. But anyways, the first time I got sober, I remember it to this day that, when I finally decided, like, I had enough of this, I was puking in a fucking red Solo cup. It's like, what the fuck? How much, like, I know that's not as low as that you could get. I know there's people that probably have way lower bottoms than that.
Everybody has their own lows. Don't compare your lows with other people's lows, because there's always someone who's had it worse.
Right. So it's regardless, regardless, it doesn't matter. The point that I'm making is that I saw this, I was like, I don't like this, fuck this. And then there was also,
and that's what it takes. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
If you see something that you don't like last year, I saw 310 on the scale. I didn't like that, so I said, you know what? I'm going to change it. And right up until fucking December was when it really kind of fell off the rails.
Well, then there's the courage to change also, like that. That can also.
It's the force of will. You have to be able to tell yourself no. And it's really fucking hard to do sometimes.
Sometimes it's not an easy thing. Sometimes it's something you have to work on a lot.
I probably should sidebar this. I also go walking to equalize the pain. I'll get migraines, I'll get joint pains, I'll get, fibro flare. If a pain is localized to a very specific area, it hurts more. Well, so you spread the pain out. In my case, I go walking. So all of my joints hurt, all of my back hurts, everything hurts. So the migraine that was originally giving me problem, or the bum hip or my hands or whatever, isn't hurting me as much because everything else is hurting to compensate.
Right.
It's completely insane, and it doesn't sound like it would make sense, but it makes perfect sense.
Right. And we probably honestly will do like an episode about something about pain maybe. And I mean, That might even
just don't want
transcend
people-
to the other podcast, you know.
I just don't want people to think that I'm going out there fucking hurting myself every day for no reason.
Right. It's not. We're not even. You know, we're going to sidebar that, but we're going to come back to it at some point.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, but I see where we're kind of combining it into this whole thing. And I mean, I
Yeah.
think overall, like I said, I'm trying to turn this into kind of what that episode was doing, and it kind of be like a life balance sort of thing. But also, I've noticed that
Joe Rogan, we can do it too.
right, maybe. But I don't know.
What is a senpai?
I just think that we all think we all should be encouraging one another in ways that we in everything that we do, because it's like we're all that we got, you know what I'm saying, in terms of like you just have other human beings, so gotta figure out a way to like kind of get along with each other. I'm not trying to be like, oh, peace and love and all that stuff, but I mean it's not. I'm not saying I don't like these things. I'm just saying I'm talking in a realistic term that like I just think look out for your fellow people. Don't just walk all over people. Don't or run them over. I guess in my case, don't just don't shit on your own kind. I guess is what the point that I'm getting at. I know that's a bigger topic, but
there's a trope,
and that's humankind.
Yeah, let me find it real quick.
By the way, or mankind. Whatever whatever thing it is that this week I'm allowed to say.
There's a trope called Rousseau was right. Let's see. Natural. Yeah. In this setting, everyone is born as a moral blank slate, or tabula rasa, as John Locke put it, with a natural inclination to goodness. All villains in such a setting are a byproduct of environmental influences such as upbringing, society, or maybe it's just an unlucky spot of brain damage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's a storytelling device. But
yeah.
I am a firm believer in the inherent good of 90% of people. I think if you take society out of it, 90% of people are born inherently good. And the 10% that aren't, you get brain damage, you get chromosomal fuck-ups and weird shit like that. Outliers, basically.
Yeah.
And I think if you approach people with the assumption that they are decent human beings or come from a place of human decency, you will end up in a better state more times than not. Look, I hate SJWs. I really do. But I understand them. I can empathize with them. I know why they're doing it. I know ostensibly why they're doing it. Ostensibly, they're doing it because there is social injustice out there. And they want to make the world a better place.
Not
They're
saying
going
that
about
there
it the wrong
isn't
way.
social injustice, because there definitely is. It definitely 100% exists.
They're going about it the wrong way. Now, the real reason most of them are doing it is to either get pussy or fucking to inflate their own egos or selfish shit like that. But that's society. That's learned behavior. I don't think people are like that normal.
Right. I don't think that's the.
And I mean, that's a whole can of worms you can get into. But my point being is,
this fucking thing. Yeah.
I mean, okay, let's look at politics. Let's look at tribalism. Let's look at the tribes. The Democrats and the Republicans. Everybody hates the Democrats. Everybody hates the Republicans. Everybody hates Trump. Everybody hates Biden. What the fuck ever. All right.
Yeah.
Trump is trying to make the world a better place. Before him, Obama was trying to make the world a better place. W, when he was, cognizant, was trying to make the world a better place.
Right.
Fucking Clinton was trying to make the world a better place and get his dick sucked. George H.W. trying to make the world a better place. Ronald Reagan was acting like he was trying to make the world a better place. Lol.
Yeah. But see, the common theme.
Back. Everybody hates all these people, and you need to realize that even the worst person, I'm going to go there, fucking Hitler, crazy as he was, and he was very crazy, was trying to make the world a better place as he saw it. The problem is,
he saw it,
as he saw it, wasn't the same as what reality is.
Right.
And that's where you get it.
And that's where there's a problem, obviously. Because
that's where you can't.
Yeah.
That's where you can't come to terms with it, because to make the world a better place, you have to be able to see what the world is. And the problem with Hitler and other lunatics like him is they couldn't see what the world is.
They don't see a world view. They see only their view.
Exactly. So what we need to do as humans, and I know it sounds globalist as fuck, is we need to empathize with everyone. Everyone. The man beating his wife, the wife getting beaten in fucking Saudi Arabia, the fucking Queen of England,
Yeah.
the fucking 5-year-old in Japan who just wants to watch his anime. Everybody, we need to take everybody as individuals, and we need to empathize with their struggles, what they are going through, why are they going through them, why did they make the decisions they made.
Empathy doesn't mean agreeing with said
Oh
actions.
God, no!
By
Exactly.
the way. It does not.
You can vehemently disagree with someone, but you have to have that initial bit of human understanding. You have to treat people like humans. You have to be able to put yourself in their shoes.
Exactly.
Otherwise, they're just liberals. They're just Republicans. They're just Orange Man bad. They're dehumanized. And I have a huge problem with people dehumanizing other people. That's why I'm always preaching this empathy bit, is because people need, if you know where somebody's coming from, you can better explain your point to them, and they can better explain their point to you, and you can come to some kind of agreement.
Right. Because my thing is that who likes sympathy over empathy? Like, empathy, I think, is so much
sympathy. Sympathy is patronizing.
Right. And it's just, I just feel like, you're just feeling bad for someone instead of like actually maybe understanding a little bit about like, hey, maybe this is why this person does the things that they do. I don't agree with said things, but I understand why they do said things. And maybe you won't completely understand, maybe you won't, but I mean, I feel like if you've made a valiant attempt, I think that's what you gotta at least try to do. And if you can do that, I feel like it's just going to make your life a hell of a lot easier. Trust me.
I hope we're helping people. I hope people are gleaning information from this. I hope we're not just preaching to the choir,
Right.
I mean, I like talking to people, but I'd like to know more that somebody come in, disagrees with us, hates us, and then listens to us and go, yeah, they got a good point.
Right, because I'm not here to do this.
We're not here to suck dick. We're not here to fucking jerk ourselves off about how fucking
anybody
great
either.
And we're not here to shit on anybody either. Yeah.
Like, and that's not what this is about. I'm not shitting on anybody that disagreed with this.
This is about provoking thought, provoking discussion. We want comments. We want people to disagree with us. We want people to approach this rationally. If our logic is wrong, let us know. Show us proof. And we can go, hey, next video we make, hey, XXX in the fucking comments said this and cited this, and holy shit, we actually got a lot of really good information, and we'd like to thank them for giving us all the information they gave us, and, we're not averse.
Or if there's more information that you'd like to provide the situation, just anything.
Yeah. Don't just say something. If you're going to disagree with us, back it up with facts, because facts over feelings, right?
Right, and that's what I'm trying to get at here. I'm just trying to get at the fact that, I just think that people just need to calm the fuck down about this first off, and just, sit back a little bit and be like, hey, wait a second here. Unpack it a little bit. Unpack what's being said and think about it. Watch the full thing for yourself. Bubbles Hydra, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for those bits. I really do appreciate that.
Oh, that's a good thing you don't use a screen reader. I got a buddy of mine who fucking shows up on my streams and just for fun he will give me 50 bits in single bits, and so I'll have to turn off my screen reader.
Hey, what's going on? How are you today?
Aklut the Inuit. I love that name.
Yeah.
Tells a story.
Yes, I said you. Thank you. Oh. Well, yeah, I didn't. Well, he said, hey, Wheel, so I was Talking to, what is that, Aklut. Okay, I don't know why I'm having trouble saying things.
I don't know how I'm able to.
Glow. Oh, you used to be Glow Whale.
There you go. Seems like we're winding down.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot that you used to be that. Duh. But yeah. Anyways,
we got senior moments, but we're not seniors yet.
Right. I don't have any more times I can reiterate what I was already saying. I'm not going to again because I think it was very clear,
Yeah, I think we have definitely made our points and reiterated our points and approached them from all the different angles that we can approach those points.
Who was a wonderful person you're podcasting with?
I am Blind Ryan.
That is Blind Ryan.
Yep.
Check him out at BlindRyan1 on Twitter.
Yep. And just regular old Blind Ryan on Twitch. I do descriptive streams for the blind, and I do accessibility reviews, and I am an advocate for accessibility in video games.
Right.
And I also do for fun streams where people can suggest games, and I try to get Twitch chat involved, and I like talking to people. And
Right.
Bill here gave me an excuse to talk to people, so there you go.
Yeah, but we're kind of hoping to do this, like, kind of do this. It might be a spur of the moment sort of thing most of the time, and then it's going to be
It's
something.
kind of like whenever there's something that's fucking us off and we need to get off our chest.
Right, and I just feel like this is the place for it, and
We in our nuanced points.
Well, I mean, I hope it was. I mean, I was trying to.
I think we properly nuanced the fuck out of that. I think people can come to conclusions and.
Yeah, but what at this point, since we're kind of winding down, and we do this on the you can we do this also on the other podcast. You guys ever want to see that?
I will check.
I'm not sure if I followed the correct person. Okay, we will see in just a second here. But
free virtual fitness. Get fucked, email.
At this point, though, I kind of want to see what was everybody else's thoughts. What was everybody else's thoughts?
You followed me.
On maybe what we talked about, or what maybe if you actually saw the video, give me an idea of like what what
I stream all over the place.
what type of ideas you got from it, or just what you think.
Yeah, what do you guys think? I mean, it seems like everybody pretty much agrees with us that
well,
Joe Rogan is nuanced, just like every other fucking person, and that you should have balance in your life. I mean,
well, at least
much
a few people that actually responded, it seemed like. But I don't
well,
know.
No, we got 5 whole people now. Fuck.
Yeah, we got a little.
Hey, it's fucking 4 more than I usually get.
But it's
I love it. Fucking. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, the whole reason that Bill got so pissed off is that people on Twitter were not looking at the nuance of it. They were just. He said video games are bad. Joe Rogan hates video games. Retweet. And
Yeah,
it's
so
not
it's
that fucking simple.
Yeah, it's just,
and so we went over the nuance of it.
Right.
About how if you spend fucking 3 months playing video games and not taking care of yourself and not doing your fucking job and not all that other shit, then yeah, of course it's bad. But that goes the same thing with drug use. That goes the same thing with fucking woodworking. That goes the same thing with jogging. That goes the same thing with sex. It's doing something at the exclusion of other things. And you shouldn't do that, no matter what the hobby is.
Right, exactly. And that was the, it wasn't so much that, I mean, yes, I know that a lot of times, there's certain things where someone shares an opinion and I just kind of take it for what it is. But a lot of times that might be because the opinion doesn't have nuance. The opinion is just not, it doesn't come from an educated place. It doesn't come
I'm going to regurgitate this talking point I heard on CNN or Fox News.
What was that?
Kind of. What? No, I'm just saying. That's what they do. They just, they see it somewhere, they hear it somewhere, and they just regurgitate it. They don't think about it. They just...
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and I mean...
It's like I said, if I wanted to, I could start a fucking rumor about Trump or Biden or anybody, and people would believe it because people don't know how to do their due diligence.
Right, exactly. Because, I mean, yes, there's a lot of times where you could sum up what someone says into, oh, well, that was just... wow, that's their opinion. Like, and I get what you're saying. That does make sense. But, I mean, I think that's more of, like, we're not going on a tirade necessarily about, like, people not having opinions. I mean, people could say, think whatever they want, but it's just, like, I feel like there was just a little bit more to it than what people were sizing it up to. And I think that was the point that I was trying to kind of get on, is that, just that, part of it was that, oh, well, part of it was about a life balance, and part of it for me was just about the fact that people just taking things out of context, and it doesn't really matter what it is, because I've seen this happen time and time again with different people saying different things. I've seen it time and time again, so that was part of the irritants of it, is that I've just seen this happen so much, where it's like someone takes a sound bite of what someone said and just takes that little bite, and then somehow is able to write an essay about how they're wrong. And it's like, well, did you watch the full video? Did you do your due diligence to understand what was actually being said. And I feel like there's a lot of people that don't do that. But you know,
on a completely different note, check Discord. I want to see if I can make you laugh.
let's see here. Let me see where do I have Discord up? Trying to make sure it doesn't pop over there.
No. Yeah, you're not gonna want to show people. It's not pornographic, but or bad. It's just funny.
I didn't show people.
What'd you think? Pretty good, huh?
Watch the blind guy the guy that's not blind needs to put on glasses now. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, if it did, though.
Watch as I completely derail with a funny meme I found. If you want to know what the funny meme is, join my Discord and join my Kludgy, because I actually age gate my Kludgy. I make sure everybody who's in it is over 18.
It's special. It's a special place. But I mean, if nobody really has anything to say about it, I mean, that's cool. I mean, I just kind of, and I mean,
oh no, you always want to give people a chance to air their grievances. I mean, if we're completely off the fucking, we're completely off the rails, then yeah. I
figured as much. I mean, I figured that was
Bubbles added you on Steam.
Why you put exclamation Steam and then you got it.
Son of a bitch! I keep fucking with that damn link, and it keeps saying it.
Still haven't joined Discord for me. It says it expired or invalid.
Let me see here. Are you talking about his or mine?
Oh well, of course.
Because yours might, because mine's the same as it's always been.
Yeah, of course.
Here's mine. Oh yeah, Wheels Discord, yeah. So yeah, your thing expired. Can I give invites out there? I can make one real quick. Oh good, I can here. Let me just.
Yeah, I need to update that link.
Boom.
Yeah.
So Wheels. So Bill, I'm going to use this. Use this as your link. It is a permanent, never expire link for your Discord.
Yeah, I don't know what rights people have in there at this point. It may need to be a little bit more locked down than it is, but I don't know. I think for the most part people can invite people, but yeah. It's not an extremely active Discord, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's
thanks for joining me, guys. I'm doing the usual thing, asking if they're of age, asking if they want access to the Kludgy.
Right, but anyways, we're kind of winding down though. I mean, what I'm looking for, guys, is like when I post this to YouTube, I'm kind of curious as to see what you guys have to say about it on there, because I'm just wondering, you know, I just wonder where people kind of will go with this, you know, and we'll see, you know, hopefully it's more down the educational path than it is, you know, comments that I'm going to kind of just overlook because they're either not on topic or they're just stupid internet shit.
We are a rambling sort of people.
Right, so at this point I understand if you're like, oh god, how did we make it to this part? But yeah, no, like I said, I don't know when Wheel Talk will kind of happen, but it'll happen when it does. When we're both fucking available and there's something that needs to be talked.
There we go. All squared away. Now everybody who joined can do what they want.
But I think with that, I mean,
I think we can call it, dude. I think we're good.
I think we can call it there, guys. It's not that we didn't want to wait longer for people to say things. There's always ways to contact me.
You give them 5 minutes. Generally, if somebody's got something to say, they'll say it in 5 minutes.
There's always, if you want to talk to me, you can @ me there about what you thought. You know, if you have any further things you want to talk about this, you know, feel free to hit us up. Same thing with you know, you can Blind Brian at what is it? At Blind.
Got you there.
Yeah, he got it on Twitter. Yeah, so both of us can be caught up there. And then I'll have a YouTube. I'll post a YouTube link out there on the Twitters and also the Discord if you're part of it. If you're not, like I said, look for it on Twitter. So, anyways, guys, thanks for taking the time to watch two crazy guys talk about some stuff.
Yeah, thanks for watching us fiddle fuck around on a mic. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was informative.
Right, guys. So I was going to do another stream. I was going to do another stream of a game, actually, but you know what? I kind of talked about this. I kind of just want to take the rest of my day to relax, guys. You know. So, anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and hey, thanks for watching the stream. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, I do too.
And we'll see you next time. Keep it wheel.